ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅਜੀਤ ਵੈਬ ਟੀਵੀ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਗੌਰਵ ਮੈਨੀ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨੀ ਭਾਰਤ ਪੱਧਰ ਤੇ ਖੇਤਰੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣਦਾ ਸਥਾਨ ਦਿਵਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਫਾਰ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਇਕੁਐਲਿਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਦੇ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਕਨਵੀਨਰ ਸੈਂਥਲ ਨਾਥਨ ਅਜੀਤ ਵੈਬ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਸਨ। ਅਜੀਤ ਵੈਬ ਟੀਵੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗਾਰਗਾ ਚੈਟਰਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਰਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਖੇਤਰੀ ਭਾਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਥਿਤੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਅਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਤਾਮਿਲਨਾਡੂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਮਿਲ ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਦੇ ਦਰਜੇ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਵਿਸਥਾਰਪੂਰਵਕ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਅਜੀਤ ਵੈਬ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਲਈ ਪੇਸ਼ ਹੈ ਖਾਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ।
Dear viewers, we are here in the studio today to talk to Mr. Senthil Nathan, who is the federal coordinator for the campaign for language equality and rights. So we will talk to him about issues related to language equality and also the language question in Tamil Nadu, where he comes from. Welcome, Mr. Nathan. Chennai recently hosted very significant language rights conference. Can you tell us about how this language rights conference was conceived and why did it take place? I especially want to know what was the specific need now.
Okay, see, the 2015 is the 50th year of the great historical event in Tamil Nadu, which is 1965 language war. We call it as language war. That is actually against the imposition of Hindi in 1965. It is not against any particular language, it is not against Hindi, it is imposition of Hindi is actually mattered. So this is the 50th year. More than 500 people were killed in 1965. It's a very important history that has changed the course of political thing in Tamil Nadu. So to commemorate the 50th year, people in Tamil Nadu, there are so many Tamil organizations and organizations from other section of society also. We conceived a plan to bring other language activists from across India also to discuss the point. See, today all the languages in India, including Hindi, have so many things. They are facing so many problems. So we wanted to bring all the peoples to Tamil Nadu, to Chennai, and have a conference and discuss about the language issues in India in general. So we decided to bring people from different parts of the country. The main, you can say this, the 1965 to 2015, so many realities have been changed. It is not very simple today. We are facing multiple challenges, but still the concept of language equality, the concept of language rights, the concept of mother tongue education, they are very relevant even today. So that was the factors behind this gathering.
And what significant things came out of this gathering? For example, there was the Chennai Declaration of Language Rights, which for the first time brought together signatories of many languages in the Indian Union together on one common platform. It ceased to be a Tamil issue or a Punjabi issue. Can you tell us more about the Chennai Declaration? Why was it conceived and what does it aim to achieve?
Okay, the Chennai Declaration of Language Rights is a common document in which we take consideration of multiple issues faced by different kind of languages in India. In India, we have three different categories of languages, I can say. Apart from English and Hindi, if you take other regional languages which have some kind of official states in the status in different states, they have their own peculiar issue. For example, all the languages that was listed in the Schedule 8 of Indian Constitution, now they want to become official language of central government also. That is one kind of language issue. And now you have another some 40 languages in India, mostly from northeast of India and even the northern part of India. They want their languages to be included in the Schedule 8 of Indian Constitution to get some kind of official recognition. So they are fighting for inclusion of their language in the Indian Constitution. That is another type of languages. And if you take a third category, which is actually very important for us, there are hundreds of languages in different parts of India spoken by less number of people. They are actually dying. Either they are becoming extinction level or they are assimilated with other languages. So those kind of people are also fighting for the rights. So you have the languages, three categories of languages having three categories of issues. So in Chennai Declaration, we want to provide a basis, a theoretical basis, a practical basis for all such kind of languages in India. We want to provide a theoretical platform in which language equality and language rights. These concepts are very well known in the West now, not in India so far. In 1996, in Spain, in Barcelona, people from different parts of the world, the language right activists come together they issued a declaration called Universal Declaration of Language Rights, which is like Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, modeled on the Universal Declaration of Linguistic Rights, we developed our own document called Chennai Declaration of Language Rights, which is specific to Indian conditions. So, the core focus of the document is actually recognizing the issue first. We cannot think that the language issue is settled in 1950 itself or 1965 itself. It is not resolved. In India, the language issue has not been resolved. So, we are taking the issue, but in the different manner. It is nothing against any particular language. It is nothing against minority or majority issue. All the languages are equal. All the languages should be considered equal. They may have different issues, but basically they are equal. So, Chennai Declaration says we are all equal. All Indian people are equal. Our languages are equal, but we have different issues. Then we will identify what are the issues. Then we will try to find constitutional solution for that. See, the part 17 of Indian Constitution is totally anti-democratic one. It was said by even many people, many leaders in the past. The part 17 of Indian Constitution give a kind of official recognition to Hindi and Hindi alone. But instead, we want to have a multilingual solution for that. All the languages to be treated equal in their respective domain, respective regions at least. So, we want to remove or amend the part 17 of Indian Constitution by bringing a bill called Language Equality and Rights Bill. Okay, this Language Equality and Rights Bill will provide a constitutional base upon which you can enact your laws, enact your other legislative issues and bring guidelines and make policies out of that. So, we need to change the part 17 of Indian Constitution to reflect the current reality, to get the idea from elsewhere. If you take European Union, it is supporting 24 languages. Though European Union not a nation, but still it is a kind of entity that we can really look upon. So, globally in Singapore there are 4 national languages. In Switzerland there are 4 national languages. In so many countries, all the major languages are considered national languages or official languages. But in India we have a problem. India does not have any national language, but we only have Hindi as official language. We have no problem at all, and we want Tamil also to be official language, Kannada also to be the official language, Bangla, Punjabi, Dogri, Kashmiri, Urdu, all these things should be the official languages of Union Government of India and to be applied in the respective regions. I am not saying that I should go, for example, to Assam and demand something in Tamil. I am not saying that. I want Tamil to be used in the official language level in the union government offices, in the public sector in Tamil Nadu. That is the thing. So, every language community has a right to interact with the government, interact with the public sectors, interact with the private companies also in any public space. So, the public space should be multilingual. That is the idea. So, when I am talking about language equality and language rights, it is nothing to do with against any particular language. At the same time, we have to take the importance of fighting against imposition or domination of any language. So, if you take in education, we have to think about the domination of English. We need English, there is no doubt in it. We are multilingual these days. Whether whatever be the background of anybody, we want to learn English or any other language, that is fine, but not at the cost of my language, not at the cost of any other languages in India. So, India has to redefine the concept of language issues in India. It is not against any particular language, it is for all the language. That is the point I would like to emphasize again and again.
Right. And the point is well taken that the language equality campaign is not against any language, it stands for against imposition of certain languages of power. You come from Tamil Nadu. Can you tell us about the role of the major established Dravidian parties vis-a-vis the language issue now at this point? Or
Okay.
what has been their role, let us say, in the last 2-3 decades?
Actually, it is very pathetic today. In 1965 agitation, this language agitation paved the way for Dravidian parties come to power. In the last 50 years, no national party like Congress or anybody able to crack that. So, either DMK or ADMK is in power for the last 50 years, and that particular thing has happened thanks to the marches of 1965 agitation. But their service to Tamil is only a lip service. I tell you a couple of things. There is a fight for making Tamil as one of the official language in Madras High Court. The struggle is going for many decades now. But even now, both ADMK and DMK, they did something for this, but they are not actually taking any serious attempt to do this. Indian constitution is not prohibiting Tamil to become one of the official language of High Court. Actually, Article 348 Class 2 provide you a facility to make your state language as the language of High Court easily, similarly for any other language. But to get the consent of president, it is not a very big, it is not very simple also, but a government in Chennai can do this, but they are not doing that. Another thing is, after the advent of globalization and a kind of overemphasis to English has become part of the government itself. Today, it is very difficult for us to comprehend the development. Yes, we need English, but Tamil should be the official language and Tamil should be the language of education and all. But DMK and ADMK simply killing Tamil in various public spheres and spheres of power also, and English is taken place. We do not have the problem of Hindi now, but English has taken the space that should be occupied by Tamil or any other local language. So, this is the problem we are facing in Tamil Nadu. We feel DMK and ADMK has betrayed the cause. They came to power only because of the language issue in 1965, but they betrayed Tamils very well.
You mentioned about the globalized scenario. In my final question, I would like to know from you that our own mother tongues, how they should technologically, in this more technology rich world, how are they to cope with the changing technological scenario, the advent of the internet and issues like this,
Okay.
right? Because otherwise the languages will not be relevant anymore if we lose out in this kind of new field.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Actually, there is a misconception about the advent of globalization will benefit only English. That is only 50% of the truth. If you take the real issue, I am also coming from an industry which is related to languages. We can say, directly we can say, many languages has found their space in the cyberspace and technology space in the last 10-15 years. It does not mean that globalization means only English. It does not mean. Many languages, for example, if you take Tamil, from 95 onwards, we have very vibrant movement that make Tamil compatible with the cyberspace, with the internet, with mobile phone or in any other latest technology of information and communication related. So, languages, it is one, actually it is part of the language policy and language planning. The government should know how to promote Indian languages, or any state government should take responsibility for the local languages. So, we have to move forward, we have to talk to the platform makers like operating system vendors and everybody. We should make some law that make them comply with, so that Tamil or other Indian languages will be in their platform. If I am in Thailand or Malaysia, if I buy something locally, the brochure or the ELF files or some support should be there in the language of the country. Whether you go to Europe or you go to Southeast Asian countries, it is part of it. If I buy something in Singapore, I am able to see something in Tamil, but if I buy something in Chennai, I am not able to see Tamil. So, the language policy and language planning of Indian government and state governments are not up to the mark. If something is happening in European Union, if I am a company and releasing some product, I have to support my thing for all the 24 languages spoken in European languages, but not the case in India. Sometimes even Hindi is also not there, only English. So, we have to change the language policy and the language planning system in India, but to do that you need the constitutional reform. Otherwise, it will not be the case. I would like to say one more thing. As the outcome of Chennai conference in September 20th, language activists from around India, there are some 5-6 languages have been represented. We have come together and formed a forum called Campaign for Language Equality and Rights. This forum will get more people from different parts of country. We want to evolve into a civil society organization to fight for primarily the constitutional reform, also the role of languages in multiple phases of life. So, it could be a forum for all the people who can come together and fight for the language rights in India. The concept of language equality and language rights to be emphasized now.
Dear viewers, so we were talking to Mr. Senthil Nathan, who appraised us about the Tamil language movement of 1965 and the recent initiatives about language equality in the Indian Union, and also how our own mother languages, how will they be able to cope with a globalized and technological future that is having an expanding footprint on our lives. Thank you so much for being with us.